On the next night, Inspector General of Police promises to arraign 549 electoral offenders. Governor Adeleke rekindles electioneering promises to Osun people. While the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeat Jozu of Guinea-Bissau. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the Major Reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Usman Alkali Baba, says 781 electoral, 489 major electoral infractions across the nation will be prosecuted expeditiously and transparently. The IGP made this known during the meeting he presided over and attended by upper echelon of the Nigeria Police Force, comprising Deputy Inspectors General of Police and the Goodluck Jonathan Peacekeeping Hall, Force Headquarters, Abuja. Force PRO CSP Olumiyiwa Adejobi, who disclosed this in a statement, indicated that the meeting was convened to assess the performance of the police during the 2023 general elections, highlight lessons and strengths, and dissect complex dynamics for subsequent optimal performance. The IGP also seized the opportunity to commend the senior police officers and commanders and other ranks for their resilience, sacrifices, and professionalism, which ensured the containment of the pockets of election security breaches across the country during the electionary process and enhanced the overall credibility of the elections in line with the police reform initiatives of President Muhammadu Buhari. The Inspector General admonished all political actors and their supporters to submit to incitement or any act designed to threaten the national security. The Independent National Electoral Commission has fixed April 15 for the conduct of outstanding governorship and national and state assembly supplementary elections. This is contained in a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi, in Abuja. He stated that arising from its meeting held today, INEC has decided that confirmed this when he appeared on a news platform in Abuja. He said that the three-day exercise would start on May 3 and end on May 5 across the country. Dr. Abari, who is the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, explained that the census would capture every person, household, and structure for national planning and project execution purposes. The agency boss said the change in the date was due to the postponement of this year's governorship and houses of assembly elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission. He said that the change by INEC made it mandatory, which had earlier been planned to hold not too far away from each other. Dr. Abari described the exercise as a significant event that would aid national planning and execution of developmental projects. The NOA boss, who is also a member of the National Publicity and Advocacy Committee on Census, stressed the state has promised to fulfill its electionary promises to the state, especially the civil servants on the payroll of the state government. The governor stated this while addressing civil servants who trooped out to welcome him to the state secretariat in solidarity show over his triumph at the Court of Appeal. Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekileko asked more on the story.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke arrived into the waiting hands of the civil servants who had converged on the entrance of the state government secretariat to felicitate him on his victory at the Court of Appeal, Abuja. The governor, who was full of smiles, had to stand up, thereby forcing the governor's convoy to stop. Addressing the gathering of happy workers, Senator Ademola Adeleke said his happiness knows no bounds for the show of love from the workers. Senator Adeleke, while thanking them, used the occasion to assure the workers of the resolve of his administration to fulfill all his promises to them as it relates to repositioning of public service for better efficiency and improved welfare package. He admonished them to continue to be efficient and hardworking for them to sustain his love and support that will not stop. Singing various songs of solidarity accompanied the governor from the main gate up to White House, where he headed to his office for the day's job. Speaking with Osbc News, leaderships of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and Trade Union Congress, TUC, lauded fear of God and strict adherence to the rule of law, as well as respect for due process. They described the governor's victory at the appeal court as victory for the workforce, who are now enjoying life by Senator Adeleke. Comrade Christopher Arapasokpo and Adekola Kolawole.
This man is doing good. This man is doing great. This man has supported workers of Osun. And in less than 4 months that he came on board, workers, the atmosphere is clear. Workers are smiling. Backlogs of salaries, arrears have been...
On behalf of Mr. Governor, Mr. Governor was charged with some issues on the tribunal during the last election, July 16 election. The first tribunal, he didn't get it right, but we are all free for him that this gentleman that everybody, including
highlight of the time, state cultural troupe who led the governor singing and dancing from the gate down to the governor's.
Meanwhile, judiciary arm of government has been described as one of the integral arms in sustaining democratic government. A legal practitioner, Comrade Nuruddin Karim, made this known while featuring on weekly current affairs program of Adeleke as the will of God and the people of Osun State, maintained that the case presented by the former governor Adegboyega Oyetola and the All Progressives Congress is baseless due to their inability to prove its defense in the court. He added that the judiciary has corrected the error committed at the tribunal through the scrutinization of the evidence by the panel. As Nigerians rush to their various bankers for money withdrawals, they have been admonished to keep calm at the point of withdrawal, now that the Central Bank of Nigeria disburses huge amounts of cash to the society. Listeners made the call while calling machines as well as over the counter. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga has details.
Life seems to have started beaming in the banking sector following the release of more currency into circulation by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
It may be lost, so the money may be stolen. Then it's not even ideal. It's not good. It's not ideal at all. It's as if you are exposing yourself to unnecessary danger, to avoidable dangers. So people should relax. Everything has normalized. So just go to your avoid panic withdrawal. Everything has stabilized. The financial system has stabilized. CBN has pumped enough money to circulation. So people should just relax.
He urged the people to be more patient, adding that in no time the Naira note will get circulated as expected. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga, OSBC News.
A new study has revealed that women who use contraceptives are at higher risk of breast cancer regardless of the kind of birth control pills used. According to the study, progestin only and progestin with estrogen PLOs, medicine noted that the risk of breast cancer is similar regardless of whether birth control was progestin and estrogen combined or progestin only. The World Health Organization, however, said approximately half of breast cancer develops in women with no identifiable risk factor other than being a female and over 40 years of age. The Global Health Organization further listed the factors as increasing age, obesity, harmful use of alcohol, family history of breast cancer, history of radiation exposure, reproductive history, tobacco use, and postmenopausal hormone therapy. However, the new study found out that prescribed oral combined contraceptives, injectable progestagens, and progestagens releasing IUD contraceptives are at increased risk of breast cancer. The exit of Lieutenant General Oladipo Diya is not only an affirmation of the mortality of man, but a quick reminder of the life and times of a star officer whose career was full of exploits peaked in tragedy. Kayode Adebayo examines the life of the late military tactician who was referred as a colossus in spite of the tragic end of his career. His report.
Lieutenant General Oladipo Dia, whose death hit the airwaves in the early hours of yesterday, was a military tactician reputed for his exploits while in service. Born on 3rd of April 1944 and died barely 7 days to his 79th birthday, he was seen by many as a no-nonsense officer. He started his military career as Commissioned Officer of Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, and after a while proceeded to Command and Staff College, Jaji, for further military studies. Late General Dia was an alumnus of National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Guru, as well as the United States Army School of Infantry. Having fought in Nigerian Civil War on the side of federal government, Dia had a great career in the military, culminating in his appointment as military governor of his home state, Ogun. In the era of promotion based on competence, the infantry officer was appointed General Officer commanding 82 Division, Enugu, from 1991 to 1993. He was on the post until his appointment as Chief of Defense Staff and later Chief of General Staff by the then Head of State, General Sani Abacha, to whom he also deputized as Vice Chairman of Provisional Ruling Council. His military career peaked with tragedy when he was linked with a phantom coup which led to his arrest and subsequent trial for treason in 1997. At the end of the trial at military tribunal, he, alongside other officers, was sentenced to death but later escaped by what many refer to as divine intervention. Although General Dia retired to a quiet life, but it is believed that he never recovered from the trial over the coup until he breathed his last. Kayode Adebayo, Osbc News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari and President-elect Bola Tinubu, in their condolence messages, described Lieutenant General Donaldson Oladipo Dia as a man who protected Nigeria's unity and strengthened the military. Others who mourned Dia's passage included Governors Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, Dapo Abiodun of Ogun, Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, Senate President Ahmad Lawan, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, as well as former Senate Presidents David Mark and Dr. Bukola Saraki. President Buhari, in a statement by a special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, recalled that Dia was known for his brilliance, exceptional organizational skills, and discipline. President Buhari explained that the former Chief of General Staff displayed the virtues in important roles he held in office as a military officer. President-elect Tinubu described Dia as a stabilizing factor at a critical and most turbulent of the country's life. Expressing sadness over the passing of the general, he praised Dia's contribution to national development. Christians have been admonished to live their lives on earth in accordance with the dictates of the Holy Bible so as not to miss eternity after the sojourn on earth. President of Osun Baptist Conference, Reverend Paul Kolawole, who gave the admonition at the burial ceremony of Deacon David Shongodele, described the deceased as a man who served God and humanity. Here are the details of the event held at First Baptist Church, Mashifa Ile Ejibo, Osun State.
The burial ceremony of Deacon David Shongodele, tagged the celebration of life of an icon, attracted dignitaries, families, friends, and well-wishers from far and near who converged on First Baptist Church, Mashifa Ile, in Ejibo local government area of Osun State, to pay their last respects to the man whom many described as a lover of God and the people. In his sermon during the church service, the president of Osun Baptist Conference, Reverend Paul Kolawole, who led other ministers of God to the service, spoke on the need for Christians to discover the plan of God for their lives and walk in his path. Reverend Kolawole, who noted that God has a purpose for everyone, which can only be discovered and utilized in service to God and humanity, enjoining the people to live a life worthy of emulation, as exemplified by late Deacon Shongodile, who lived for God and for man, which is evidenced in the caliber of people that gathered to bid him farewell.
God has given us an opportunity to have blessings, and the blessings we are aiming at is the eternal blessing, which is the value of eternal life.
Some of the children of the deceased, including Mrs. Agnes Olabisi, Engineer Temitayo Shongodile, and Dr. Jayola Adebisi, described their late father as a caring, loving, forgiving, and accommodating father who taught them the way of the Lord. They maintained that their late father would be greatly missed, but his legacy lives on.
My dad, he was an epitome of love, humility, and he was a cheerful giver.
Best father in the whole world. Very calm.
Baba was so nice, was a father to me since I married his daughter.
The celebration featured Thanksgiving and outing service where family, friends, and well-wishers appreciated God for the glorious life their father spent on earth. The remains of Deacon David Shongodile were later committed to Mother Earth at his residence in Mashifa Ile, Ejigbo local government area of Osun State, guests with grandchildren. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
You are welcome to our sports segment. Super Eagles of Nigeria have won the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifying reverse fixture against the Jotu of Guinea-Bissau. The Eagles head coach Yusuf Piseru, during the match, rank changes in his starting lineup for the match. Piseru made 5 changes to his side with the quittance of Calvin Bassey, Wiola Lukman, and Kevin Apoguma not included in the starting lineup. Francis Uzoho kept his position in goal. Piseru opted for a new centre-back pairing of Kenneth